Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 79 entitled Spiritual Ego. Well, this is the second chapter and second video for which you can see and watch independently. Today we're gonna continue with different examples of the limits of the obstacles of spiritual ego. Once again, the goal is not to eradicate, to ban your ego. It is more to know how to manage it, and because it's not certainly is not a good master, but it's a very good servant. Oh, okay. So it's a different way to perceive the fact that it can be positive when you use it and you know how to see. Well, let's continue. So one of the danger is to perceive spirituality as a constraint. What does it mean? Okay. Every day I have to do my meditation, but I don't want. Today I have to do my yoga. Today I need to do, I want to become vegan. Okay. I need to do, like, you know, all the thing that you have to, and this is a kind of quest of performance. Okay. There is no Olympic Games about spirituality. There is no Olympic Games of meditation. It's kind of joke because nobody can see, and it's not because you will have the knowledge of 100 let's say techniques of meditation that you will meditate properly. Maybe you only need one, and to practice regularly. And what I said before is, you don't want to meditate today, don't meditate. If you are always upset and so on, do something else, but don't meditate. Don't become vegan if you are frustrated. I met so many people like this. Everything they did like you know, the food package, and they were absolutely not in harmony. I'm vegan personally since 2007. All right, since I'm here for 2 years in Turkey. For 1 year and a half now, I started to eat sometimes, punctually, not every day, some meat. And I have no problem with that. You understand? Because this is meat did in the halal process. It means with a certain ritual with the animal, and also when I do it, I do consciously. I thank the animal and so on and so on. But even that, it's my business, this. If you're always frustrated by something, don't do it. They shouldn't be a constraint, but a pleasure. You know, this notion of when I do provocation with Olympic Games of meditation, it's a matter of fact. A lot of people consider that they have to be productive. They need to be efficient. To, you know, like what we have in our system. You know, the more of more. Even for your curriculum vitae, the resume, you need to do this thing, many languages, many diplomas and so on, or to have a lot of training, a lot of certification and so on. I have my third degree in Reiki. I have this in... calm down. Do you think because you have all that, you will have the gold medal of the Olympic Games of spirituality? No. Maybe you will not necessarily more happier with that. So this is really, there is a good balance between motivation, passion, discipline also, because it's important. Of course, if you want to access to a good, let's say, completeness, okay, wellness through meditation, of course, it's like a muscle meditation. The more you practice, the easiest it is for you. So, if you don't have a self-discipline, doesn't mean, sir, yes, sir, and you have to do. No. It's like, I do a metaphor. I'm learning, I learn 11 languages in my life. Okay, 2 deaf ones, Latin and Greek. But anyway, some hard ones, by the way, Turkish, Arabic, or Chinese and so on. But anyway, when I do it, I do every day, 1 hour, 2 hours, even sometimes more. And if I don't do it for 1 day, it's not a big deal. 3 days is not a big deal. 1 week is not a big deal. But if I do it intensively 1 week and then I stop completely for 2 months, 3 months, it's useless. You're going to lose everything. So it's the same principle. You have to have a certain discipline, self-disciplines, without a constraint. So a good balance between the extreme, the fact to be the patient, let's say certain discipline, motivation, and the race to have more powers. And when I say powers, it's not skills and abilities. No, power is like to dominate, to master, to become a master. You know, even the term, I have my certification, my third degree of Reiki, and I will never say I'm a master Reiki. I don't like the term master. I'm a master. You can call me master. Come on. Slavery has been abolished 2 centuries ago. Anyway, let's continue. I think you understand my point. Another point is experience. When experience and practice are not are less important and either ignored compared to theory and knowledge exclusively. This is a big danger. And when people only have a big mouth and they just want to spread it, okay? You know, in French we say culture is like jam. The less you have, the more you need to spread it. Okay, keep in mind. So, so there are, you know, the knowledgeable, those who are like old library, the living library, they know everything. They know Taoism, Buddhism, Jainism, Zoroastrianism, all the path, okay, Confucianism, everything. But they don't put anything in practice. Useless. I mean, no, it's not useless. It's general culture, okay? But if you don't put in practice, okay, you can learn all the notice of using for machines and so on. Well, and then you can also learn in different languages if you don't try to turn on the button. But anyway, I think you will have understood. All those, you know, the new entrance in the spirituality is kind of judgment. You're gonna think, yeah, maybe it's my spiritual ego talking, but you know, a lot of people open up their mind, the consciousness, thanks to or because of the pandemic. Okay, because they had time with the lockdown to stay at home and just to question sense of life, meaning of life, and so on, blah, 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 in a positive way for a lot of people. And some of people, they're just starting to be in the bulimy of spirituality and so on. And some of them, they think now, they believe, they know everything. They are, let's say, expert of everything. They became within 2 years. They became great shaman. They be alchemist. I don't know, exaggerate, but coach of everything. Just humility, maybe. To become a shaman, maybe you need a life. To become alchemist, maybe different lives, and so on and so forth. So, but it's just the replication. It's like recycling our society, our bulimic, consumerist society, Western society especially. But actually, it's funny. But you know, I know different. I had the cases of young people. They are 23, 24 years old, and they are coaching of life. Okay, you know, it's like the priests giving you some advice for your marriage or for your sexuality. Okay, but you are single and normally you are not supposed to have some relationship. I mean, some sexuality. Understand my point. I had a case with one of my students for which she was really mature. She was 26 years old, and but when she graduated of MBA, she asked me, should I start my dream or should I work? And so I just advised you can do your dream and also in parallel you can work, because she wanted to become coach of life and coach of companies. But how do you want to be a consultant, to do consulting, if you don't have any experience? I remember when I graduated, same MBA, business school, I wanted to be a consultant as well, but I said to myself, I need an experience. For example, the last course I put online on Udemy is about management, and it was 2 years ago, sorry, when I was 41 years old, with an experience almost of not 20 years, but okay, I've been manager, I've been CEO of 2 companies for more than 1 decade, and so on. Well, I have a certain experience, even if I'm not 60 years old or so, and I don't have 40 years of experience, for which is for sure more knowledge. But anyway, and it was very hard to structure that and so on. So why I'm trying to say that is because so she chose to become a coach of life and coach. And you have some people, I'm really surprised, because I had the case, and I still have the print shot. It was a French girl. She contacted me when I was 40 years old, and she wanted to coach me. Okay, and she was 19 years old. She even didn't, she just finished the A-level, okay, so, and she wants to teach me about life. Yeah, but maybe you need a bit of humility, experience. Visited 66 countries. I live in half, 1/3 of my life, 10 years in China, 3 years in Indonesia, 2 years in Turkey, in England, in Mexico, in Portugal. Maybe I know a bit more than you. I don't know, huh? Maybe you remember a lot of things from your previous life, but you understand my point. This is like a mockery. It's a masquerade. It's a farce. But anyway, well, another danger is to skip the stages. You know, yeah, there is a rhythm to accept and to respect. You know, it's like when you dive. Diving, you need to respect, you know, the decompression stops. Or otherwise, when you go down and when you go up, otherwise you can die, basically, because it can affect your brain and so on, and you can literally die. And actually, this is exactly in Greek mythology what we call the myth of Icarus. Icarus, to make it short, Icarus was the son of God. Okay, and he was a kind of bird, but with let's say the wings in the material of a candle. I don't remember in English, sorry. But anyway, so he just God, I mean his father, tried to explain: don't go too high, not too high, because it's too high and too close to the sun. This is a metaphor, the sun, like the light, and don't go too far. It's like when you do astral travel, it's like you have, let's say, silver cords, but if you go too far, you can also, I mean, not to come back, but you can also to be in your planet during too long. But anyway, so, and of course, he disobeyed, and he has been burned, and his wing, let's say, just disappeared, and he fell down into the water, and he died. So it's a metaphor of the fact to go too far, too fast. Those who want to study Kabbalah, to do shamanic retreats, and to take ayahuasca, and to take trips, and so on and so forth, without respecting certain process, some sacred, maybe practice, customs, and so on. So once again, it's not judging, but it's just something, I mean, it's a kind of advice. You know, in psychiatrical hospital, 25% to 33% are people with mystical trauma or accidents. Okay, so they think they are God, Jesus a lot, and then they are not grounded anymore. They are not anchored anymore. They are like marginalized, and they lost the ground. So they cannot talk anymore with people and so on, and they're different, and therefore some of them, they think they're superior. And I know, and they are ignorant. They are goats, sheeps. Okay, another danger is to have new box, new identity box, new classes. Okay, regret the planet, you know, with is this, so he's in his cell, like he's architect, so he cannot be spiritual. He's accountant, so he cannot be artist, and so on and so forth. Okay. Holistic vision means that you don't use these techniques of duality anymore. Okay, it's a big picture without any segmentation. Okay, why I'm saying that? Now you have a lot of labels: starseed, indigo, high potential. What else? Twin flames, soulmates. Galactics. Oh, I'm from Venus. I'm from Lyra. I'm from Sirius. I'm from Pleiadians, and so on. I'm not saying I'm not interested. I am interesting. I treated this topic in the key 75.4 regarding galactics and extraterrestrial. 4 videos, 75. I'm very interested by this, but actually. I'm not, I can be closer with a feeling of one thing, but the fact to separate this, we are recreating always our system, our current system. And I think for me is a trap, is basic trap. The fact to democratize, the sacred, the sacred things is good. Okay, even if in the arcana there is a kind of role not to share everything. And since I'm a teenager, I think it's ridiculous, because if God created us, we have access to certain information and certain field of consciousness. But I always said that the sacred holy books, for example, they are at the level and the capacity of the field of love and field of consciousness of each one. If you're close-minded, limited, okay, of course you will understand a religious book with your limited way. You will not see, for instance, the different layers of perception. You will not underline and so on. So there is probably some mystical approach that you will not see. Okay, so what's my point is the fact that there is some shortcuts nowadays with some very mystical things. I saw, for instance, recently, you know, like there was a picture on Facebook of the game for kids, hopscotch. Hopscotch and the Kabbalah put together, and it was written something like you know the link, or you understand now, and so on. And people were saying, yeah, I understand completely the links and so on, but there is absolutely no link. Kabbalah, you can learn it when you are 40 years old. What does it mean? It means that you need to have a certain maturity and so on. Kabbalah, some people, they became completely crazy through that, because it's linked to magic. Okay, so there is Sephirat, okay, with consciousness, and it's like playing games with the egregores, entity and egregores. So it's the inner path and so on, with personal path, inner path, and also having an effect with the outer world and the invisible world. So it's extremely technical, and it's absolutely not at the scope, at the level of all of us. Okay, so the link between both, there is absolutely none. Okay, so this is like the old photos I can see on Facebook and so on. Facebook spiritual groups of New Age, virtual spirituality with the Photoshop's photo with the clouds, or with the the feather and so on. And the clouds, people can see angels, people can see all about. And actually, this is Rorschach test. This is simple. Okay, you put some ink, and then you do like this, okay? Then you have a kind of trace, a mark, and this is the psychological tests, okay? And according to your complexion, according to your, let's say, your individuality, you will see some elements, okay? Some sign or something, but it's completely personal. It's according to your moment now, and also your I don't know, your complexity and so on and so forth. So this is completely personal. So, and also this, what does it bring? Nothing. You know, Einstein is one of my great mentor. He says something for which this is the only thing I contest, but he say there are people who are seeing sacred things everywhere and other they don't see anywhere. I think maybe there is a balance between both, the middle way. Personally, I see synchronicity signs in many cases, for which a lot of people think is completely crazy or whatever, but not everywhere neither. Okay, it's the same principle of the movie 23 with Jim Carrey, for which is kind of psychotic, and he sees signs everywhere, but there is no signs. I mean, and this is him, and by the way, he finished completely crazy. So there is, I think, a good way in between both. Another obstacle and danger is to run away, to flee from, let's say, materiality and from the present moment. So materiality is the density. A lot of people, they go to spirituality because they have a bad life. For them, they don't like it, so they run away. So that's why they love astral travel, that they would take some acid, or they like to dream and to sleep, okay? And or they are just procrastinate, they are waiting for someone doing the job for them, like the extraterrestrial, galactics, and so on. So materiality is density. We are born here, down to earth, okay, for this. We can consider before we have everything, or we are just spirits. If we are here, is to experience as well this, and to, let's say, marvel all the things, or the food, the nature, and so on. This is, otherwise you are just observing life. You are not admiring life. You are not honoring life and believing thereby. You are just observing through, you know, a keyhole, basically. Okay, so you don't see the big picture. So another is the fact to escape from the present moments. Okay, you know, when people are very focused, exclusively focused on medium, always to project the same cause, same effect. Okay, why it would change, your life would change in the future if you don't undertake anything basic. Huh? And also, medium can also just be wrong. It's happened. So, and the danger is the self-realization, let's say, yeah, self-realization. I treated this in the video 43 about destiny and free will. Okay, and actually, if someone, a medium, say to you, a channel, say to you, oh, she's not for you, or it will not, your marriage, your weddings will not success, actually you are conditioned towards that. Okay, so you will unconsciously create with your vibration, but also beyond of that, down to earth with your behavior, your daily behavior. You will think, okay, why I would do some efforts because she will run away, he will left me, and so on and so on so far. So that's why it's forbidden in certain religion, like in Islam, because otherwise you are blocked unconsciously with one thing. And I think I talk about that in the multidimensionality, key 78, or well, anyway, 6. I think there are layers, and everything happen at one moment, at the same time, all ready to exist and all ready to exist. I mean, all ready to exist and all exists already. Sorry, and this is what Einstein said. Match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot stop getting it. This is not a philosophy. This is science. invite you to think about that. Another danger is when you accept like this is I will be on harmony conditionally. Okay, when the galactic will come and we will be, or when we will be in the 5D. But maybe you will never have access to 5D because you're not vibrating it. Maybe it's not visible for you and not accessible because you don't vibrate these frequencies. Okay, so if you didn't do the job, why it would change like this, appearing like this, like the snow arrive during the night? It's not working like this. Another danger is the kind of spirituality that I called show entertainment adrenaline. What is it? Is the fact to always want more strong sensation, you know, adrenaline, like extraordinary things and so on, like out of body experience as near-death experience, or abduction, or vessels, and so on and so forth. Okay, fine. But actually, spirituality is also to make ordinary extraordinary, just to magnify your life in general. And this is the secret of alchemy, is to transmute the reality into gold, not physical gold. Aur, A-O-U. In Hebrew, it means the divine light. So when you transmute it, you're luminous, illuminated, and life become a miracle. A word to a wise. Then, the paradoxal spiritual is those paradox spiritual or paradox religious. Those they go to church or to a temple or whatever, mosque, and then they behave like horrible people. Okay, so this is, you know, or those who in the comments, you know, spiritual, I don't know, a conference, lecture, and so on, and then they are just horrible, or even you watch on Facebook, the comments sometimes is like a debate without arguments, just fighting for pleasure, like trolls. But anyway, so you know what I'm saying. The danger also is the proselytism. Proselytism, what is it? It is I believe in something, so I want to adhere necessarily to my vision. Vision is question of perspective, angle of view. Okay, so all the roads lead to Rome and to home. Okay, so maybe it's a limit. Okay, always those who always want a differentiation. Okay, offer demand, offer those who just want like to make the buzz, to have new theory, new stuff, and so on, and demand. Okay, those who are expecting like you know, a new series, what's next, and so on. But same is a bulimia of consumerism, like dislike and popcorn. Okay, fine, but once again, and most of the time they ignore the basics like nature, like meditation, like how to breathe, pranayama, for instance, all this kind of thing. Anyway, you know, also the warriors of light. Okay, you know, warrior of light. It's a paradox. Okay, it's like oxymoron. Why? Because war very low frequencies and light very light, by the way, very high. Okay, so if you want to fight against the government, against the deep states, against the dark egregore, the dragons, and so on, okay, you are just credit them. Okay, this is the basic of Satan. I treated this in the video 72, I think. Satan is an egregore. It's an entity and also is energy. Okay, as much as you fight, as much is as an orgasm. Why? Because it's just fed by the low frequencies. That's why Mother Teresa said, "Don't invite me for a demonstration against war, but if you invite me for a wall for peace, I will come." We think it's the same. No, it's not the same. Why? Because fighting against is a reaction force. So you credit it, you reinforce it On the other way around, when you oppose, you spring. Oh, there is an animal. What is that? There are a lot of wild pig here, so I'm just hop. This is not one, but it's. Well, anyway, so yeah, it's not the same feeling. It's not the same energy that you credit. Well, the business of faith, of course, you know, the temple merchants, Jesus, when he take it out, all those who are selling statues and so on, and for which you are obliged to pay to be blessed and so on. You know, those who are making retreats, silent retreats, so there is no teaching. This is fasting, so no food, and sometimes no accommodation, and you pay $5,000, $10,000, and so on. For me, it's a kind of parody, but it's like this. Those who have some patterns, like you know, trademark, copyright, like transcendental meditation, TM from Maharaji. This is super funny. I did that. I have I had a training for that. But why it's so funny? Because if you don't have that, you cannot teach it officially. I mean, so you need to pay for that. It's a pattern, but actually it's the basic meditation on earth. This is what Buddha taught. So now he wants we pay for that. It's a joke. Same for Wim Hof. Same. The techniques of Wim Hof is just as millenniums is pranayama in mysticism, in Hinduism. There are hundreds of ways of breathing, like holotropic breath work and so on. Is not his own idea, maybe found by his own, but and if you use it, you have to pay something for. Come on, this is. Anyway, all the limits. You know, some anecdotes as well from the spiritual world. Actually, a guy wanted to sell me a Facebook group, Spirituality, from Spirituality, to sell this. How come? Anyway, you know, in the YouTube channel, for example, it's like when you're popular in the college and so on. A lot of people, if you're not famous or you don't have some followers or subscribers enough, they don't talk to you. Some of them, for example, you need to have minimum 100,000. Okay, so when I will have this, I could talk to you because my ID will be interesting, right? Is that the logic? Or no, it's just for because it's combining the synergy, because thanks to that is a business. So, and then you understand the point. So well, anyway, I squeeze the fact that I contact a lot of people in spirituality and they never reply. I don't understand. It's a lack of, let's say, respect, but it's like this. Maybe they don't have time. And also, I'm not bankable, and I said that because I'm not profitable. Why? Because a lot of time when you do, let's say, a conference, an interview, they ask you to propose a workshop that you have to pay and so on. And if you don't do it, they don't have anything to gain, to earn. And for me, it's so weird. I mean, no, it's not weird. It's the marketing word. It's our current word. So we transferred to spirituality, which is a big business. It's a matter of fact, and it's like this now. The fact, another danger is not to be aware of the fact that the appearance, and also that everything is fixed. What do I mean thereby? For example, the thing that some politics, some people cannot change. Even you think you consider they are in the darkness, they can change, they can evolve, and it's up to us as well to enlighten them, to pray for them, and so on, and to show them the way, and so on. You know, it's like we can see, for the metaphor of Christ in the gardener, it's the same principle. We can see the divinity through everybody, and we are invited. If you consider enlightened people, they try to do it, try to arouse the divinity within people, a maximum of people, and this is really challenging. Anyway, you know, in Sufism, there is a technique for which a Sufi, those things in the action for showing to the people he's a bad guy. Like this, which is not true. But like this, he wants to break his ego. And you know, maybe this is what I did in this video. Maybe this is also what I'm doing in different videos when I insert some mistake voluntarily, just for you to question everything, because I'm always advise people, don't believe any advice, even this one. A word to a wise. Well, this is really important. Why I say that is the vigilance, let's say the lucidity and the discernment. This is a key of openness and also of spirituality. Well, next video we'll see some solutions, some tips, some advice that I advise you to question, of course, but in advance try to think about the advice you could do, and according to all what we saw, you have 2 weeks to think about that. Try to do it by your own, because it's always better to have from yourself how to improve that and how to face all what we saw during these 2 videos. Well, I hope these videos, these humble shares, will help you to shape the master key of your consciousness, of the word, of love, of whatever you want. As you know, all the roads lead to Rome and to the Dome. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.